Hello, good morning, and welcome to Football Nutmeg. My name is Omar Fields, and with me is Fola. Good morning, Mr. Fola.
Good morning. How are you?
Nice having you here. I've been trying to have you on the show, but your busy schedule have put you away. But thank God that we have you here.
It's good.
And
It's good to be here today.
yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Okay, kindly like our videos and subscribe to our channel for those of us watching us live. I think it's a live stream, not a pre-recorded. Um, I want us to go quickly into Roman Abramovich with what has happened at Chelsea recently. Before we go to the home front to look at the Super Eagles squad. Um, what do you think really happened with Roman Abramovich and the English FA and the entire British media as well?
Okay. That's a very that's a very relevant question given what's happening right now. I think he bought Chelsea in 2003, around 2003, for about
Exactly, yeah.
yes, just for over about 140 million, or 140 million. Um, ever, s- uh, I'm not a Chelsea fan,
Yeah,
but what I would say is that ever since then he's been extremely successful.
yeah,
I don't like his style. I don't like the way he's constantly sacking managers, but um, he had a vision. He had a vision for his club, and if you want to look back in the last I don't know 20 years, just close to 20 years, 18 years,
yeah,
and you will say for a scorecard, you will say he's been successful, right? But it was always a marriage that you felt that it was always going to end up in some kind of I don't know how to say it. It was always something you felt that it was not going to have a good ending because of his Russian links. Um,
yeah,
I've always felt that. I've always said that to my Chelsea um, supporters, my Chelsea friends, to say that look, it's not just compatible with the way the world was going. It was always something that was always a concern. Um, so there are two ways to look at it. We can look at the sports aspect and we look at the politics aspect. But if you look at the sports aspect, he's been extremely successful. He's ruthless. He's a very ruthless man. He knows what he wants, and they've been very, very successful. They've won two Champions League, and they never won Champions League before Abramovich came there. And he's won
exactly.
Champions League, and they won everything. They won like about five FA Cups, five league titles as well, if I'm correct. And then I think the last month they also won the World Club Championship.
Exactly.
Yes,
And they lost. They also lost at the final. They also lost at the finals last week as well to Liverpool in the League Cup.
Yes, but that was a missing. But I think they won League Cup in the past. The World Cup Championship was the last, was the missing link in all the. If they won everything, so if I should score him on sports, I don't like his style, but he's
Yeah,
successful. Um, uh, and but it was always a marriage. I was always going to end up in disaster because of the way the Russian politics was always heading into, and his affiliation with Putin. And of course, right? You know that he made his money from the old USSR was
exactly. Yeah,
dissolved. Exactly. So future for Chelsea, um, it's 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 like if you do you want to buy a very expensive house? That's the way I look at it. As a First of all, to buy a very rich house, you have to be a rich man. So
exactly.
now exactly. So it narrows the number of people that can buy Chelsea. And of course, if you look at it, he's giving Chelsea a number of loans to amount of over £1 billion. What that in normal terms, what that means is that Chelsea have been running in deficit for the last 20 years for over £1 billion. So whoever comes to buy Chelsea now knows that I have to spend up to about 3-4 billion to buy Chelsea, and then I have to run a deficit every year. If I have to continue with how Abramovich ran Chelsea, I have to run at a deficit and just hope that the whole Chelsea company increases, the value of the company increases over and beyond the amount of value I'm losing every year. So I don't think there'll be too many people that can afford to buy Chelsea at the moment. So that's the problem Chelsea will have. So there might be a couple of American billionaires. There's a
Yeah,
Swiss.
I have on my list. I have on my list an American Swiss, a Swiss American
Yes,
consortium
that's correct. Yes,
owned by
yes.
Todd and Hosberg, and I also have on my list. I have Bayake from Turkey on my list as well, and we also have an Egyptian billionaire also going flying for Chelsea. Okay, quick one, please. Hamza is on the show as well. Hamza, what will the sale of Chelsea? Will the sale of Chelsea affect their transfer going forward?
Good morning, Mr.
Good morning,
Fola.
Hamza.
Good
Good
morning,
morning.
Omo.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
morning.
first of all, I would like to say that the marriage between Abramovich and Chelsea was a very romantic one, if I'm allowed to use that word. Because if you look at how Chelsea has been run over the last 10, 15 years that Abramovich has been in charge, you know that
Yeah,
it was about the passion and the love for football and not for business. So if something like that is going to continue, it has to be an owner who has the same passion for football or is ready to make money from it. Nevertheless, I will say that if you are buying Chelsea at this moment, you are going to have to deal with a lot of fans who are already spoiled with the way Abramovich has been running the club. Because you see someone who knows that if I buy a player and it doesn't work out, I sell him not minding the amount I'm going to get from him, then I buy another one. He even ends up not selling some players and he buys another one just to suit his needs or get the result. Abramovich didn't get profit from Chelsea until 2014, if I'm not mistaken. You
yeah,
can
you're right.
imagine how many owners can wait for that long, if not for the
Certainly,
love.
certainly not the Glazers. Actually, not the Glazers that own Manchester United.
Even not this cronk of Arsenal.
Exactly.
So you have to look at these things, then you decide and you say what happens next for Chelsea. And as a fan, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but
Yeah.
as a fan, if you have to look at it from that perspective, I'm going to say you should be expecting the worst from what you have been expecting. If it was a club like Arsenal, Manchester United, you will say, okay, anything can happen. But for a Chelsea fan who is used to this kind of thing, sincerely, I would say expect the worst. So that when you see something good or something better, you should act surprised because you don't get a lot of billionaires who are ready to invest their money in passion without getting something in return apart from the passion and the love for the game. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm only thinking.
you're very right. I mean, look at Arsenal. Arsenal probably have the richest owner in the Premiership, right? But he's very prudent. He's not he knows how he spends his money, right?
Exactly.
Most Americans they make their money from the capital market, right? And they're very prudent with how they spend their money. But Abramovich, like you said, Hamza, you're absolutely correct. He's a fan. He's a Chelsea. He's a fan. He loves Chelsea. He's ready to lose money on Chelsea. He's even actually said that look, all the loans, which is what it terms as loans, is deficit, right? I'll write it off, right? And even any profit, net profit, although I don't necessarily understand what he means by net profit. All the net profit I make from the sale of Chelsea is going to go to the Ukraine victims. So it shows that he's his venture into Chelsea was not anything, was not about business. Absolutely never about business.
Okay. So I do agree with you. For 19 years of being the proprietor of Chelsea or the owner of Chelsea, Abramovich has won 19 trophies as a man,
Yes.
19 trophies. And like Hamza said, as a Chelsea fan, if you have a new owner, because you've been spoiled under Roman Abramovich, just like as we all know Manchester United, they've been spoiled under Sir Alex Ferguson over the course of 26 years, amassing high amount of trophies over that 26 years. The same thing will happen to Chelsea. That's how I see it. I don't know how they will take it, but that's how I see it. They wouldn't get those players for, let's say, £100 million again. They might get some fews. They also have to rely on their academy, which they did 2 years ago when they had this transfer embargo on them. That's how I see them going forward. No matter what.
I think you're not going to see a mass exodus of players leaving Chelsea. I think it will be a slow thing. So what you will see is that over the next 2-3 years, you're not going to see them spending 100 million buying a Lukaku, that kind of thing. That's what. But the players they currently have, they probably be able to pay their wages, probably be able to retain them, but that jest that you've seen in the last 19 years, it's unfortunately, it's coming to an end. Yes.
And I can say something for a fact. The large numbers of talent that they have all over Europe will be reduced. Trust me. I don't see them getting another owner who will have the chunk of money to pay a lot of salaries to players who are not playing the first team. Chelsea have up to 40 players outside Europe that they don't even know about.
Those players have to come back as well.
Yes, because even with the fact that there is a new rule that said that you shouldn't loan out more than 6 players. That just the new rule recently. Even with that, if it was Abramovich, he will still find a way to keep them. That's how much he loves the club and football.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's move on from Roman and Chelsea, and we hope that the future goes well for the club at the moment. Let's look at the Super League. The Super League is back again. We understand what happened with the Super League last year, where we had a lot of protests from clubs fans, and that saved that those protests and those I'll call it an uprising in football helped UEFA and the UEFA Champions League move forward. But as I speak at the moment now, there is a remodeling of the Super League, which I think that the European Union are interested in. Now, the 3 clubs that are still standing in representing or trying to bring that idea to for the Super League to Europe are still Real Madrid, Barcelona, and Juventus. In short, there is a high. There was a rumor that the meeting was even held in the Juventus chairman's president's house. This recent meeting. Now, for this new model, guys, this is what I have. They said the process would not be exclusive. No more exclusivity. Before, you have exclusive clubs like we all know in Europe, the likes of Manchester United, Real Madrid, Barcelona. Bayern Munich, which were not initially at the initial PSG, and some other big clubs. Now the second thing with that rule is that there will be promotion and relegation, and qualification comes through your performance in your own domestic league. Okay, guys, Mr. Fola, do you think this will work?
No. I think UEFA announced a new format for the Champions League a couple of days ago, where they've increased the number of participation clubs from 32 to 36, and where they have just one league where everybody plays 10 games, and then depending on, and then you now qualify based on that. You now qualify for the last 16. There's a format for that, and that's in response to this Super League, right? The fundamental problem with Super League, I think what UEFA are trying to do is trying to come up with a format that suits or can appease these super clubs. And that's why they've come up with this new thing that's going to start in 2024, where you have just one league of 36, 36 teams, and then the top 16 qualify, and the top 8 qualify, and then the next 16 playing a knockout, and then join. And so you have another 8, which is a lot of games, but that kind of is like it's the kind of thing where it kind of like meets some of the requirements of these super clubs, right? I think the reason why this Super League has been formed is a bargaining. That's what I think. I think just a bargaining thing for them to say, look, we can break away. This thing you formed is still not good enough for what we want, right? So I think in the next few weeks and months, that UEFA format will be refined a little bit more to suit the needs of this Super League, super clubs, right?
But don't you think for those big clubs like Real Madrid, Juventus, don't you think it's about the money, not even about the format?
It's all about the money. That's what's fundamentally wrong with it. How can you have it? How can you have a league format where nobody gets relegated? There's no penalty for failure, right? They just want to. So that's the problem. That's the fundamental problem with that Super League. And if you look at this Super League they're trying to form, there's some important clubs not in there. Someone like Liverpool. So some clubs that have big affiliation with their fans. Football fans don't like the Super League. They don't like it. And the climate for that Super League is not here. So I believe that Super League is just being formed as a bargaining, something to bargain with UEFA. UEFA has come up with a format for 2024, which is Super League. UEFA come up with something for 2020, which is like a Super League. But I believe this club wants UEFA to move more. They want them to do more, right? So that's why I believe in 2024 you will have a league where you have all these top teams and all these top clubs playing in a league format, but under UEFA, not a breakaway. That's what I believe.
Okay, Hamza, what do you think about the Super League? Hamza, can you hear me?
I can hear you. First of all,
and Hamza, before you speak, please remember Arsenal are not among the they are not among the super teams
anymore.
They are not among the super teams. I don't know. They are not among the super teams.
Arsenal were part of the first time it happened. Arsenal were part of it.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, good. Now, first of all, I would like us to look at what actually brought about the Super League. During COVID, when COVID happened, a lot of clubs had financial problems. A lot of clubs. Why? The fans were not coming to the stadium. And we all know that maybe some of the salaries of the players or some of the club running costs were meant to be taken care of by fans turning up for games and buying tickets. Now, the super club, as they are called, thought about it and felt there was a need for them to get extra money. Not forgetting the fact that they have always been murmurs and grumbling underground about how UEFA are not really giving clubs how much on how big the money they should be collecting. Because if you look at the sponsorship and the endorsement being received by UEFA, clubs are how do I put it? They are starving. You can't run a club like Real.
But notwithstanding, I felt that the Premiership clubs that are among that are greedy. The likes of Manchester United, which I support, the likes of Man City as well, which I see that they have big and rich owners as well. How much the current Premiership deal? I think worth about £6 billion, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
£6 billion for 3 years. I just feel that the clubs, the Premiership teams, should not be part of this Super League. And if they are not part of this Super League, that means, like I said, that league should be done. Should that idea, that the forming of that idea in the minds of Real Madrid, Juventus, and Barcelona, it should just die a natural death if those clubs are not involved.
You see, when we're talking about Abramovich just now, we said there are different types of owners. We have businessmen who are rich and want to get richer. This is just normal. It's just natural for you to want more. If you are comparing clubs like Juventus, Real Madrid, Barcelona, who the revenue they are getting is not as high as we speak in England, but their running costs and the level of standard they've given themselves are very high. How do you expect them to keep up? Look at the kind of deals they give the likes of Neymar, Mbappe, Messi, and the likes. And you still have more than 48 to 50 players who are still going to be paid weekly. Not talk of the running cost of the clubs. Now, it's not as if I'm supporting the Super League, but I'm trying to come from their own perspective. The major reason for the Super League is money. Every other thing can be suggested to UEFA and they can pick what they want and leave out what they don't want. I hope you understand that.
I get you. I
But
understand.
but if money is involved, when the issue of Super League came up, we were already seeing agreement with American businessmen worth close to $6 billion.
Yeah.
They are people that are readily wanting to get involved in the business of football, but they don't have the opportunity. That is what Juventus, Real Madrid, the like of Agnelli, the likes of Perez, they were looking to exploit. Now, I'm not going to say they are selfish. I'm not going to say they don't care. But looking at it from the football fans' perspective, what UEFA is trying to do now, the new formula in 2024, having a league set up, everyone plays each other, is what every football fan would dream of. Play everybody. Let's see how you even perform against this person. Because in the league setting, you may have someone who you want them to face, but eventually the person doesn't come out of the group stage for them to face the other club you want them to face. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
I
But
understand you.
even with that, you get to see people face each other, then cut out to the quarterfinal. Now, whoever has stolen that idea from the Super League, that is a good one because if you don't have criticisms, you can't improve.
Is that not a spy? Is that not a spy gate?
No. Yeah, they are trying to say that they are better, that they can do better.
Smart. It's very smart. It's very smart of you.
It's very smart, yes.
Yeah.
They're trying to say if that's what you want, we can also do it. But the money aspect, they can't do it.
I think
The only thing is they can raise the bar for the amount of money they give every club for qualifying for the European football.
Yes.
Then
absolutely.
after group stage, then after each game, then and which I feel that amount won't still be enough for the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, PSGs who are already wide-mouthed. So I don't know how this is going to end though. I'm just watching.
So how do you think it will end?
Okay, when they first suggested the idea, when they actually came up with the idea, why was it not successful? Why? Because they didn't get the backings of their fans, right? Generally speaking.
Yeah.
So why would
maybe they didn't do their homework well? That was my own reason. Yeah. They didn't do their homework well. They were not prepared for.
So have they done it now? So have they done this now?
I think
now
so.
But now it's even worse because
yes, it's more difficult.
UEFA has come up with a format that a normal fan will say, actually, this is good enough for my club. Every club, every fan don't want their players to play too many games in the season. But if with this, we're saying, oh, these are 10 games we have to play to even qualify for the last 16. We have to play 10 games. Before we play what? We play 6 games, but now we're playing 10 games, right? And then we have another extra 4 or 5 games to win the Champions League. So I've never liked it. I've never liked an exclusive entity in my life, and I will not start liking it now. I think that Super League is just I don't like the idea of it at all. I just don't like it. I don't like you have to always reward success, and failure has to be punished as well. You can't have some set of clubs where they just believe they can just continue to make money just because of who they are. I don't like that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's just too much, and that's why I support this issue of having salary cap and agent cap fee as well. So that if you are signing a player, you don't spend. I think clubs these days in Europe spend over the top for to agents to sign players.
Some
I
some
think an
some fees
agent,
are just ridiculous when you hear them.
yes, I think an agent can take 10% of the fee, which I think is good, but taking close to 40, 50%
So
or
if an
close to
agent is going to take a 10%, he's obviously going to want the player to move, right?
exactly, exactly. Okay, moving on. Let's come back to the home front. Um, I didn't even know that I was expecting that list to come out, the list for the Super Eagles to come out today. I didn't even know that it came out yesterday. But thank you for reminding me about it. About it. Um, Let me just put the list on the screen, please, quickly. I think Hamza is off. He should join us later again. Okay, I have the list on the. Can you see the list, please?
I'm trying to let me see. Let me look for you. I've lost my view. How come I've lost my view? Let me
Okay,
see.
no, is the list? Can you see the list
I
on
can
your
see the
screen?
list. Yes, I can.
Okay, okay. You can just so I can see you here, or you can also see me. Okay, when you look at the goalkeeper department, let's just scrutinize the list. You have Maduka Okoye, who was the number one goalkeeper at the AFCON. Um, Francis Uzoho, Daniel Akpey. Um, the defense department, you have William Trus Ekon, play for Watford. Kenneth Omero in Turkey. Leo Balogun also played in the UK with Rangers. Olaina, Sami Ajayi, I think Calvin Bassi, Zaidu Sanusi, Shehu Abdullahi. Then the midfield department, you have Ndidi, Wufe Ndidi, Joe Aribo, Frank Onyeka, Oge, Ogenekaro Etebo, I think he's back. And you have Akinwumi Amu. Then the fourth place, striking department, you have Ahmed Musa, Moses Simon, Samuel Chukwueze. You also have Victor Osime, Ojo Igalo. Who else again? Sadiq Umar, Kelechi Iheanacho, Emmanuel Dennis, and Ademola Lukman, who just switch national teams recently. Then you have some of the outstanding players: Chidozie Awazim, Jamilu Collins. You have Chidera Eju. You have Taiwa Oni as one of the outstanding, which I found funny as well. Taiwa Oni as one of the outstanding. Then you have Paul Onuachu, Peter Olayinka, and Oge Onazi. Oge Onazi, where has that guy been? So what's your take about this list that we have?
Um. Okay, I'll take it each role at a time. For the goalkeepers, I think we've suffered ever since we've lost. What was our goalkeeper? The goalkeeper
Vincent
we had?
Yama.
Yes, Vincent Yama. Ever since we lost Vincent, we've not really replaced him. Um, a lot of these goalkeepers, they do well in their league, but as soon as they come to Super Eagles, it's as if they buckle under the pressure. Akpeyi is a good example. He's doing very well in South Africa. He's done very well in South Africa. But as soon as he gets to the Super Eagles, he seems to lack confidence. He seems to be buckled under the pressure. I'm a bit disappointed that there's this boy that played under 17 a while back, Adebayo
Yeah.
Adeleye, who's
Yes.
in Israel. Uh, I would have liked to well, maybe grace of God, if we beat Ghana, we have a camp for before the World Cup. I would like to see him. I like to see him in that environment. Because to be honest, all these three keepers, none of them fill me with any kind of confidence. Okoye is is okay, but he only had one job to do in that Nations Cup, to stop that ball that
I don't know. You guys still blame him for stopping that ball
that was
from
the only
going
that
in.
was the only job he had. Throughout the tournament, he had nothing else to do. That was the first
I
time.
agree with you though.
That was
I
the
agree with
first
you.
time he was called up to do something. And maybe it's a bit unfair on him, but that was the only time he had to do something to impact that the game, and he failed. So he's unfortunately he's going to be judged by that. So I would like to see Adebayo Adeleye called, and let's look at him, because none of these keepers fill me with confidence. The defense, I like it. I can't. If you see how can you change it? Maybe Awaziem because of his versatility, but I don't.
Yeah.
But I think we're okay because Bassi is versatile. Bassi can play centre back, he can play left back, so we're okay. I really like Ebueyi, but he's injured at the moment, so he's not there. But I have the defense is well balanced. We have Aino and Abdullahi on the right. We have
Yeah.
Bassi, Sanusi on the left, and we have the three centre backs, and Bassi can also play centre back. So I think
Yeah.
that's well balanced. In midfield, again we've really suffered in that midfield. So when you think about the people like Olise, Olise, you can think that okay, maybe Indidi has come to replace Olise, but we've not found anybody to replace Okocha. We've never ever replaced Okocha. That creativity, we've always lacked that. So that's why my
I think the days of having those robust number 10 like Okocha, Zinedine Zidane, and the likes of who else again that can play that has been Ronaldinho, Diego Armando Maradona. I think those days of having number 10 like that is gone.
I
Basically,
agree.
because of, yeah,
I agree.
basically
It
because
might
of
be gone. It might be gone, but you still need a
yeah.
forward playing.
I also agree with you. Yeah,
You
I also agree with you.
still need a forward playing midfielder. So there are three types of midfielders you can have. You can have a defensive midfielder. You can have somebody that just plays box to box, or you
Yeah,
can have a forward looking. There's always a need for a forward looking, someone that's always looking to take risk, always looking to make that difficult pass. Every time you give him the ball, he's always looking to pass the ball forward rather than sideways or backward. And he might lose it, he might lose that ball, but he's always looking to pass that ball forward. We've not had that in a long time. So that's why I'm really excited about Akinwumi Amu. Um, I, 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 I I want to see him in that environment to see what he can do. So it will be good to see him. Etebo, I really don't understand why we've called Etebo because I think he's been injured for a long time. I don't think he's even in
yeah,
his
yeah. I think he has already kicked the ball for Watford in 2 matches since he signed for
exactly
Watford this season. Yeah,
exactly. So I really don't understand why Etebo is in the squad. I don't get that at all. And then in the forward, I have some big problems with the people they've called up. Ahmed Musa. Now, on this because I've coached grassroots. I've been a manager in grassroots football, so
yeah,
I understand why you need somebody like Ahmed Musa in a squad, right? Because you need a man. You need somebody that has the voice of the manager with the players. So that's why probably, but it's getting to a point where the the qualities you get out of Ahmed Musa is not enough to justify his selection. I think we got again. If you remember, we hanged on to what was the Chelsea player, the captain, Mikel. Mikel.
yeah.
Mikel. We hanged on to Mikel for a bit too long than we needed to. And history is repeating itself again with Ahmed Musa. I think we are doing the same thing with Musa and Igalo as well. We have Osimhen, right? We have Osimhen. We have young, hungry players that are scoring goals in their league. I don't see the reason for Igalo. We have, and I think Nigerian coaches just they disrespect on Onaochu. Onacho he's banging goals in Belgium. He's big. He gives you something different. He can come in. He can come in when if things are not working out. He
Yeah.
can give you a different option. And so for me, he should be there. And when you look at Sadiq and Taiwo, they're kind of like similar, but Taiwo is an upgrade to Sadiq. So I don't understand why Taiwo.
So I think for me, those two guys should be there. For me, those two guys should be there as Taiwo and Sadiq Umar should be there. But the idea of having if I were Ahmed Musa, I should hang my boot at the moment. After the Nations Cup, I should hang my boot. If I was Otieno Ighalo, the same thing. I think I shouldn't have been part and parcel of this squad, and that is why I keep on saying that the Nigerian coaches like Eguavoin, they don't just learn from their past mistakes.
No.
We understand what happened. We can blame Maduka Okoye in the Nations Cup that he didn't keep out that goal. We can blame the midfield, but most of us didn't blame the manager, and this is my reason for blaming Guavoin. It was that you are in the pitch of play, you played the same formation in the first match and it worked, in the second match and it worked, the third match in the group stage and it worked. 3 out of 3, 9 point bam. Now this is the business end of the Nations Cup, where once you go into that knockout round, no excuse. Now you were the best team in the group stage. Yes, Nations Cup are not won in the group stage. That is absolutely right. But you need to go in with the plan. And for me, that match against Tunisia, there was no concrete plan for us in the Guavoin. The plan A failed because you saw the Tunisians overloading players in the wings to block Moses Simon, which for me in that tournament was our weapon. Not until that match. You also saw on the other side of the ring, Chukwueze not really doing well. Instead of asking those two players to swap positions or taking out Chukwueze and asking Moses Simon to go to the other side and bringing in Ejuke, you didn't do such a. We keep on playing. To an extent, I was even frustrated with his substitution. To an extent,
it wasn't even just the personal change. It was the change of style.
Exactly.
It did show his limitations. It showed his limitations. He had no answers. And the North Africans are very adept. They're very tactical when it comes to the defensive aspect of football. They've done that for years and years and years against us. I can remember when I was younger, I used to go to the National Stadium and watch my beloved ICC against all this Zamalek and and it's the same format. They know how to kill the game. They know how to stop you from playing. The Tunisian coach, Tunisia actually had a poor tournament, and they sacked their manager. Actually.
No, they did.
Yes, but it was so easy for them to play against Nigeria because tactically they understood how to play against Nigeria. And Guapon, like you said, there are many ways you can adapt during the game. Personnel change of wings, change of style. He didn't do any of that, which was very, very disappointing. I liked the way he changed the way Eagles played. Because on Aroa we are very mechanical.
Yes. I think I like that.
Confidence, but with Eguavon, they kind of like it was as if the shackles were released a bit. They could play football, but when the questions were asked, they had to answer for it. Again, that was what was disappointing. But the thing is, the lucky thing, I don't think we will get that against Ghana. I don't think Ghana will give us that tactical question. I think what Ghana will try to do, we try to play us the way we play. That's the way they play as well. And that's why I think we will probably beat Ghana. But in terms of the players, I'm just hoping that because every Igalo, every Musa means that you're not inviting an EJK or Onuachu. So for me, I just want to see these players that are playing well in Europe being called up
consistently. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one. Let's let's move. We hope. Okay, I'll be having a show with regards to that this week. We're looking at all the teams involved in the World Cup qualifiers. Hopefully, I think that should be this week or next week. Um, then we'll talk more with the rest of the guys about our chances with the Ghana. I know we could do it with we could beat the Ghanaian team based on what we have on ground now. Even regardless of the disappointment we had in the Nations Cup, our performances at Nations Cup was up there with other teams as well. I know the Ghanaians will want to be want to say that we have no chance against them. But I think we have 100% chance against them to even beat them in their backyard in the first leg.
I think so.
And bring them to Abuja, hopefully, and beat them as well.
The way I see it, I think we'll beat them in the first leg, and then there's a risk because Nigerians tend to be complacent.
Yeah.
So I think we'll beat them, but there's a risk in the second leg that we might lose it or might draw if we beat them. So it's going to happen. It's going to be about margins. So I think if we beat them by at least 2 goals, I think we can in Ghana. Then I'll be very confident. But if it's a 1-goal margin that we beat them, I'll still be a bit nervous because we inherently we are very complacent.
I agree with you. Okay, moving forward, let's look at the Manchester Derby quickly. I don't know which club you support. First of all,
I support Liverpool.
Oh.
For the last 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. So do you think I hope Jurgen Klopp is not spoiling you guys with the current. I think this is his 6th season in Liverpool. With there are about 6 trophies. In the
we're going to win more this year as well.
I hope so. Okay. When you look at the Manchester Derby and we also saw what happened in the first leg when City went to Old Trafford to dominate Manchester United after United lost to Liverpool a week before or a fortnight before, 2 weeks before, because I think they played against Liverpool, lost 5-0, beat Spurs 3-0 or 2-0, then lost at the Manchester Derby 2-0 as well. So when we look at that match, do you think it will be more of emotions or the style of play that will come? Because considering fully well that City has not won the Manchester Derby in short, I think their last victory this season was their first in 4 consecutive Manchester Derby, outside the match they played in the League Cup 2 years ago. So do you think it is more of emotions that will win that match, that will make City to lose the match, or it will be more of their style of play, considering what we all know about Derby Day, both the Merseyside and the Manchester Derby as well. So what do you think? What do you think will happen in Sunday's match?
A lot of the emotions that come from derbies are with the fans, and it filters over to the players and the managers as well. I agree, but when you at the stage where we are in the league right now, Manchester City are at the stage where during Alex Ferguson's time, we used to call it squeaky bum time, right? They're at the stage now where they know a draw is a disappointment because Liverpool have come, they're chasing them. So Manchester City and Liverpool are now playing where they have to win. They have to win all their games, right? So the way I view it from Manchester City's point of view, it's 3 points. It's less of a derby. It's 3 points, and again, don't forget that derby is the emotions and all the fanfare that comes with derby is when the 2 teams are very close together in terms of level. Manchester United are not competing with Manchester City right now. They're not competing for the same things. Manchester United are competing for top 4.
Yes, knowing fully well, don't you think that brings that come into play as well?
It does come into play. It does come into play. I'm not saying it's going to be easy for Man City, but what I'm saying is that Man City are going to go there cold. They're going to go there to get 3 points. It's for them. Derby is irrelevant. Looking at it from Pep Guardiola's point of view, from the players' point of view, even so for majority of the knowledgeable fans, it's not. It's like they are more interested in 3 points rather than if it's against Manchester United, I think. But on Manchester United, the derby aspect of it, I think, because I support Liverpool, right? I think we work against Man City because when there's a little bit of emotion, it reduces that superiority, that tactical aspect of football. Players get more emotional. So I'm hoping it does that. But I think Pep will prepare his players properly for this game. It's all about the 3 points. They went to Everton, they struggled, but at the end of the game, they got 3 points. Whether the referee decision was right or not, they took 3 points and they've gone. So that's how they're going to approach this weekend. We just, at the end of the game, we want 3 points. We don't, it's not about noisy neighbors. It's not about all these things. But for Manchester United's and fans aspect of it, yes, they're trying to build up again. They're trying to catch the Manchester City. So they might be more emotional about it. They might come with all that. But I think Man City are going to be very professional about it and approach that game from a professional point of view.
Okay. Okay. What's your prediction with regards to that match?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's a draw. But I think Man City will find a way. They will find a way. They'll find a way.
Okay.
But I'm hoping it's a draw.
Okay. I'm coming. Let me see. Let's look at other fixtures. Let's look at other fixtures in the coming. Okay. Other fixtures. For I think week 28. We just have 10 more games to go in the Premier League after this week. So we have Leeds United. We go to Leicester City. We have Chelsea. We also travel to Burnley, Aston Villa, Southampton, Norwich City, Brentford. Let's see. I'm coming. Norwich City, Brentford, Newcastle. A rejuvenated Newcastle will host Brentford. Watford, Crystal Palace, Liverpool, West Ham. I will come to that Liverpool West Ham a bit. For tomorrow Sunday we'll have Watford, Arsenal. Then we have Everton, Tottenham. That will be that for that. Okay, Liverpool West Ham. I think the first leg of this match ended in a draw. If I'm not mistaken, was it in a draw?
I think it was. I think it was last year that Liverpool beat them where Salah scored a marvelous goal. But I think this year it was a draw. Yes, you're right.
So this is a strong match as well. Like I said, West Ham have been the table movers. They moved quite quickly to the top six. Now within that range of European league to fight for the Europa League or the top four as well. How well I know Liverpool are a high pressing side. The high line they leave behind them, and the strength they have in their mission, particularly with that so-called gegen pressing that Jurgen Klopp introduced in the team five to 6 seasons ago. Well, how well do you see this match? Don't you think it's a tricky match for Liverpool?
Yeah. Liverpool are currently they're in the zone. They're in the zone. They can smell blood. They can smell Man City's blood. So I think they're going to beat. I think they're going to beat West Ham. West Ham under David Moyes, they've done very well. But if I look at it from a neutral point of view, as a football purist, I get disappointed the way he set up his teams when they play the very, very top teams.
Yeah.
So when you see them play today, you will see that he's going to set up the team where they're going to be counter-attacking. They're going to play with one player on top. What's his name now? The Jamaican guy.
And Mikel Antonio.
Antonio, yes. They're going to play with Antonio, maybe supporting with Susek and Bowen. But deep, they will be very defensive. But I think Liverpool are in this zone where they have to win. They have to win. and I think they will steamroll. I think they will steamroll West Ham. I think it will be a game where Moyes will set up his team to not lose, and Liverpool will go there to press them, play high line, like you said, get players up front, and then the moment, because and Moyes knows that one of the biggest one of the what the biggest moment, like a lot of managers use that word moment, foreign managers, the biggest moment for Liverpool in any game is when you're attacking them and you lose the ball, right? Liverpool have two ways of playing generally. If they get the ball high up, they like getting the ball high up and score. Or sometimes they want to get the ball from you in their half. They like getting the ball from you in their half because you've committed a lot of players forward. If they get that ball and you've committed, in 2-3 passes, you are dead.
Exactly.
You're dead. So Moyes knows that. So you will see a lot of caginess from West Ham, where they will refuse to come out. A draw will be a good result for them, and you will see that in their decisions he makes. But Liverpool need the 3 points. They will go there to get the 3 points, and in their forward play, they have a luxury of players.
They have a luxury of options.
Yeah, they have a luxury. Even for Firmino has been injured. He's back. He can't even get a game. So they have a luxury of players, even in the midfield. A lot of players coming back from injury as well. So I think Liverpool will go there, attack West Ham from the onset, and eventually they will get the 3 points. Yeah.
Okay, quickly in the Spanish La Liga, we have yesterday we saw Alves. I think I watched that match. Sevilla drew away to Alves, and they dropped 1 point. So it's an advantage Real Madrid. If they win against Sociedad today, which is the last match of the day, they should be like an 8 point clear of Seville. But Osasuna versus Villarreal, Espanyol, Getafe, Valencia, Granada, Cadiz, Real Vallecano, Elche versus a rejuvenated Barcelona under Javi Hernandez, and we have Celta Vigo, Mallorca, Real Betis, Atletico Madrid, and Athletic Club Bilbao versus Levante. So, with respect to the title race in Spain, I did told one of my colleagues that it's done and dusted because I don't see any team. I don't see Sevilla catching up with Real Madrid. Do you agree with me?
I totally agree with you. It's the whole Spanish league. This has been a disappointment. The only excitement for me is to see Real Betis, which Finidi. I used to love Real Betis because Finidi played for them, and I think they are also funny enough that they are based it's in Seville, so it's in the Seville town because I went there. I went there when Finidi used to play for them, and I was like a hero because every time I go anywhere, I say I'm Nigerian. They just used to give me food, give me drinks because they love Finidi there. So the only thing that excites me about the Spanish league this season is the performance of Real Betis. Yeah, it's I don't see Seville. Seville, they're not even. I don't think they're good enough. But it just shows you the state of the Spanish league, where teams like Atletico Madrid, who are traditionally very, very defensive team, very strong. They are very difficult to beat. Struggling. And Barcelona, we all know the story about Barcelona. But there's the upturn in the recent weeks of Barcelona, and I think they'll do well. I think they will come. They'll probably be third in the league, Barcelona, and in a strange way, Barcelona, I think the future is bright. They have about 4 very good young players, very, very good young players that in the next 2-3 years will dominate that team. So Barcelona, I won't write them off for the future. But in terms of the league for this year, it's done and dusted. Real Madrid, when you even look at Real Madrid, when you look at their midfield, they'll be playing with the same midfield players for the last 5, 6, 7 years. It's up front they've had to refresh. I don't think they've recovered from Ronaldo leaving. I don't think they've ever recovered from that. Benzema is a shining light. He's very underrated outside Madrid or outside Spain. I think he's He's a phenomenon. I think he scores goals.
Yes, I think so. I call him Benzema the magician.
Yeah, he scores goals. He scores.
Okay.
And I think because of this, what the Madrid other Perez, they had this things where they called all these superstars. He was never.
Galactico.
Yeah, Galacticos, yes. It was never part of them. So it was under the radar. But I think over the years, people are beginning to recognize that this boy is a superstar. He scores goals. And this year, he's actually risen up to the responsibility he's been given, because he's the main guy in Real Madrid right now, because they lost Ramos, they've lost Ronaldo. Yes, they still have that midfield quartet, but he's the main guy, and this year he's really taking up that responsibility.
Yeah. Kudos to him. I think it's a big one for him. Okay, finally, let's look at. We don't have time to look at the other two days, but let's look at. We saw Inter trust Salatien.
Yes,
yesterday by 5 goals. Yes, by 5 goals to nil. Udinese, Sampdoria, Roma, and Atlanta will square that one up. That's today. Then the final match for today we'll see Cagliari, Lazio. Then tomorrow we have the big boys. Some of the big boys playing tomorrow. Fiorentina, Verona, Genoa, Empoli, Bologna, Torino, and Venezia versus Sassuolo tomorrow. Juventus will play Spezia. And the big one for tomorrow again, that will be the spoiler for the top of the league, will be Napoli hosting AC Milan. That's the big one in Italy. So how do you see that one shake up in the next? In a minute, how do you see that one shake up?
That for me, that's the most exciting league in Europe at the moment. Apart from the
I agree with you. When I tell my colleagues, they say, "What is there in Italy?"
It's the most exciting league at the moment, because it's quite close. Any of the Inter Milan, any of the Milan teams, Napoli, Juventus, maybe slightly behind, but they can still come back. But it's very exciting. Napoli, because of Osimhen, I follow them a lot. Yes, I think Napoli, for me, I think they have the momentum, they have the know-how. I think Napoli might shade it, and I think the game this weekend for them, if was it last week where they had to I think they won last week, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yes, exactly, and most of the other rivals, they either drew or they lost, right?
Exactly,
yeah, exactly. So I think the momentum is with Napoli, and the Inter Milan, they had the disappointment of the Champions League against Liverpool. They also played in the cup against Milan, which was a draw, I think, last weekend as well. I think the momentum is in Napoli. My cards are with Napoli to win on it. Okay. But for me, it's exciting. It's really exciting. That's the league I always, every weekend when I look at across Europe, apart from UK, because I follow UK football a lot, even in Champions League, the Championship, League One, League Two, I follow that. But beyond the UK, the Italian league I always look up to, because it's so exciting at the moment.
Okay, thank you so much for that analysis. For the past 1 hour, I think I enjoyed this, and I want to have you on the show again. I don't know how we get you on this show, but I would love to have you on the show.
That's okay.
I will try to see if I can have you on the show maybe next month.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice having you, Mr. Fola. Okay. And I hope that your prediction in the Manchester Derby doesn't come true, because I want Manchester United to win at the end of the day.
Me too. I do want, because Liverpool. I want Man City to drop points, but yes, let's see. Man United, the level is so poor at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. Okay, we've come to the end of the show. I'll see you next time, Mr. Fola.
Okay.
Yeah. For those watching us live, or if you're watching this video, if you watch this video, kindly subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, and we'll see you when we bring you more updates.
Thank you.
Yeah.